Hello, I am a Singaporean in Denmark. You may call me Sid for short. So, I've been in Denmark for slightly over a year now, and I thought I would create this YouTube channel and this first video to give my thoughts on how Denmark has been like. So, this is just going to be a quick video where I'll go through two main points, one being social welfare in Denmark, and the next being freedom in Denmark. Um, so, if you are a Singaporean and you are thinking of moving to Denmark, um, social welfare is probably like one of the biggest things you have read or heard about here, right? I mean, as we all know, in the World Happiness Index, the Nordic countries are consistently the top five countries or so in that list, and Denmark has consistently been in the top three for the past few years. Um, Needless to say, that is mainly due to the social welfare of Denmark and by extension the other Nordic countries as well. However, I think you shouldn't expect too much. I mean, overall, I would say my life is an improvement over what I had in Singapore, but things are not always as good as what you read about in the mass media. So one thing you should note about social welfare here is that it mainly applies to EU citizens. That means that as a Singapore passport holder, you are not exactly an equal in the sense that you are not treated entirely the same as how the EU citizens are treated. So, for example, um, over here, as part of social welfare, education is free for all EU citizens. As a Singaporean, however, you are not an EU citizen, right? So that means that you would have to pay tuition, like what I'm doing. I'm a master's student at the University of Copenhagen. But the main difference is that the tuition I'm paying for this master's is a lot cheaper than what I would pay for an equivalent master's in, let's say, the USA. The next thing about the social welfare that you probably have read or heard about is the healthcare. So, healthcare here is free for all residents of Denmark. That means that even if you are not an EU citizen, you do get free healthcare. But there are some caveats. So, from what I understand, in Denmark, if you have some sort of serious illness and you have to go to the hospital for treatment, right? Things will be free there. So that includes the consultation, the usage of the whatever machines are necessary for your examination or treatment in the hospital, and whatever medication the doctors might have to and nurses might have to use on you in the hospital. However, if you are, let's say you are just going to a clinic, whether it's a private clinic or actually, I'm not even sure there are public clinics here because from what I understand, most people would just call for an appointment at a private clinic. But all right, let's just say that uh, there are only private clinics here. So normally for a not so serious illness, that is an illness that doesn't require you to go to the hospital, you would call up a private clinic, preferably one that is near you, and or you could just visit it in person, to like manually get a queue number. The consultation with a doctor in a clinic is free, and if any usage of a medical tool is involved, whether it's like a stethoscope that the doctor has on them or some sort of machine if it's necessary, it's free. However, if the doctor prescribes you some sort of medication, um, you wouldn't actually buy it from within the clinic because for the sort of ailment that you would see a doctor in a clinic for, the medication that you would get, you would have to get them from a pharmacy. And the pharmacies here in Denmark are like stores. So for example, in Singapore, we have like Watsons and Guardian. That is kind of like how the pharmacies are like over here. They are like they have their own stores and that you have to go there to get your medication. So yeah, just bear in mind that over here, healthcare is free, but there are some caveats to it. And moving on to the next point. So I'm sure most of you in your research on Denmark, you would have read or heard that freedom here is a lot more than what we have in Singapore. So, for example, every year they have the Copenhagen Pride Festival, which is actually happening around now, in fact. And as we all know, in Singapore, LGBTQ issues are still not, it's still not widely discussed, and LGBTQ people are not widely accepted as well, right? So it's like every year when our equivalent of the Copenhagen Pride Festival happens, the pink dot, it's seen as a protest because it can only happen within Hong Lim Park, right? Over here, the Pride Festival is different. It's something that you would see people celebrating on the streets, um, waving the rainbow flag and all that. And it's not illegal. You would even see like huge banners and advertisements in other sizes, decorating the streets of Copenhagen when it's Pride Festival. And if you're LGBTQ yourself and you're planning to move to Denmark, mainly because of what you have read and heard about their acceptance of homosexuality and other types of sexuality over here, you are right. This would be a more suitable place for you. And I think the next thing about freedom that you all have probably read about or heard about and are probably to a certain segment of Singaporeans more excited about this than any other thing you've heard about Denmark is the usage of marijuana, otherwise known as weed. Over here, it's very accepted. Like if you speak to just about any local person here, right? Smoking marijuana is not a big deal. Like, especially if you are a smoker already, marijuana is kind of like just a different kind of cigarette. Not like in Singapore, where due to our strict drug laws, marijuana is really taboo. Like, um, don't even talk about smuggling marijuana because we all know how that ends. But like, even if among your family members and relatives, if they find out that you have been involved in smoking marijuana or something, you would probably be seen as a criminal, and maybe they might even want to disown you or something. But well, if you come over here, you can smoke all the marijuana you want, so long as you have the money to get it, because you can actually get it from a place called Freetown, Custodia. Uh, that's like an anarchic town within central Copenhagen, which is actually only about probably a 15 minutes walk from where I currently live, because I'm currently based in Christianshavn, which is in central Copenhagen and near where Freetown Castana is. But you would be surprised to know that marijuana is actually not legal in Denmark. So it's so being able to buy it from Freetown Castana, it's actually kind of a black market activity. And I would say it's one of those crimes that the government tolerate rather than just strictly enforcing it. So just bear in mind that if as a Singaporean you move to Denmark and you want to enjoy marijuana here, you can, but you are taking a risk because it is technically an illegal drug over here. And also bear in mind, please, if you are not here for the long term like I am, because I actually plan to live and work here after my masters. If you are just an exchange student here for like a few weeks, or you're just on holiday here for like 5 days or 6 days or something, right? Please do not take the risk by smoking marijuana, because if I'm sure you have heard of this or read this somewhere already, but I'm just giving you a reminder, because as a Singaporean passport holder, if when you return to Singapore and if you get that random spot check where they check whether you have taken like illegal drugs overseas, and they discover that you have actually taken those drugs, you can be charged in court and arrested. So just bear in mind those risks if you are coming to Denmark for that. Otherwise, that's it for this video. I will try and cover more topics in depth in future videos. And if you all have any specific topics that you would like to hear me cover, let me know in the comments below. Or you could just email me. My email is singaporeanindenmark@gmail.com. And I'll see you all next time.